Hi, family. My name is Carolyn. If you're new to this channel, I want you to know this is where we talk about life, navigating the process of life. We're in it. It's a process, it's a journey. So we need some tools and principles and strategies in order to navigate life. Last time we were together, I talked about baggage. And I want to kind of talk again about that because I have some other things that came up to mind when I was talking about the baggage, and it was the things that we pack. Well, this one, I want to talk to you today about unpacking some things. And I think it's like unpack your luggage. It's so amazing that God has said that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. He made us so intricately, so amazingly, that we have the ability to remember. If you're not sick or there's something wrong with your mind, we have the most awesome memory that you could think of. It's not the animals, not anything like that. It's just how God made us. That we can remember things down to the most minute details. And when I really thought about this, it was like at the first of the year. Every new year, just right before we're ready to jump in that new year, we are all excited. Many people are writing their goals, what they're going to do for the new year, New Year's resolutions, all of these kind of things. And we have a fresh new year to flow into. Well, what happens is because of this great gift called the mind and the memory that God has given us, when we step over into the fresh new year, we take luggage from the last year, from the year before that, from the year before that, the year 10 years ago luggage. We have luggage from 2020, 2000, all of that. We have luggage that we carry over into the new year every year. And then we wonder, well, why are my New Year's resolutions when I say I'm going to do these things at the beginning of the year, and by the end of January, first part of February, they've all faded away? And the reason is that we have the capacity to remember. So now you're going to say, well, what does that mean? Let me break it down. When things happen to us, God has given us the ability to remember everything in the most minute detail, like that breakup. You can remember how you felt at that moment. You think about what he said, how he said it, or how she said it, all of it in you remember where you were. You remember what clothes you had on. You could remember it was in the restaurant, it was in the car, wherever it was, down to the minutest of details. And as we remember that, what also comes up is the pain that we felt. It could have been 10 years ago. And when we start thinking about it, that pain is just as real today as it was 10 years ago. It's because of the way God made us, because of our memories. And when we lose a loved one or something like that, we can remember every detail of the last day they were with us or the days leading up to the time that they were with us. And we go over and over those details in our lives. So although it's a new year, it's a new month, it's a new day, and we have an opportunity to enjoy the now, because we have the luggage from the then, we can't enjoy the now because we have that luggage. It's like the baggage that we talked about. This is luggage that we bring into each and every year. And then somehow or another, as we start moving through it, we begin to be emotional. It just brings it all back because we're remembering every single detail. And sometimes you remember, well, I should have done something different. I should have done it differently. There may be guilt with it. that you haven't gotten over. So the guilt of if you didn't take the relationship seriously, or it was a loved one, I should have called them. If I had called them, I would have had a chance to talk to them, before they passed away. Or I should have talked to the doctor in a different way. Maybe I could have helped them. All of those things we remember in the most minute detail. And when we remember it, the pain of that thing hits our heart. And and it's just like it happened today. And it can even become a physical pain because of this beautiful thing that God has given us called a memory. And we walk through life. New months, new years, they come and go. And our luggage gets heavier and heavier because we then bring the luggage in of the current year along with that from the years before. You say, wow, that is so true. That is so true. You can ask someone when they're retelling you a story and you're going, really? That happened to you? Well, what happened? And they start telling you the details of it. And they go from A to Z, telling you every single thing that happened to them. And you go, wow, it may be someone you've never heard the story before. And you'll go, when did that happen? And they'll say 10 years ago. And you go, what? 10 years ago? And you still are under that right now? Yes. And you know why? Because we remember in detail. So what's our strategy for that? How do I handle that? Because we all have pain in our lives. We all have disappointments. We all have things that have hurt us. Maybe childhood things that you've gone through that were trauma that you've gone through. And when we remember it, we remember the pain, we remember the shame, remember the hurt, remember all of those type of things. So what's our strategy in the process of handling that? Well, one thing that we can do, which gives us a start, is that we can have a memory and remember some things, but not bring the detail of it along with us. It's going to take practice because we're used to remembering in detail. But I can have a pleasant memory or a memory of something that happened, but if I stop and don't allow my mind to think on every single detail of it, I won't bring the pain of it. I won't bring the past of it into my present. Why? Because I'm not remembering in detail. I'm remembering that it did happen to me. I remember, where I was. I can remember where I was. I can remember what happened, but I don't have to narrow it down to the hour, the minute, how he looked, how I looked, how I felt. I don't have to do that. Why? Because the same God that gave you the ability to remember in detail also gives you the ability to have a memory without the detail. It just takes practice. And what do we have? Opportunity and time to do it. So just try it. Just begin to do that. When those painful memories, those things that you carried with you and making your past your present, that's not a good plan. That's not actually a God plan. He does not want us to live in the past and have it as our present. And the only way that that can happen is that we keep reliving it over and over again, just like it happened today, by using that memory. So now we want to reverse that. We want to have the memory without the details. So like I was saying, the same God that gave you the ability to remember gives you the ability to compartmentalize it into a memory without the details. And that way I can then live it with a with an aha. That I don't have to bring the pain with me into the new year, the new month, or the new day, but I can bring the memory. And slowly but surely, as I practice this, I cannot allow those memories to keep me locked into the pain of the past, the hurt of the past, the loss of the past, but I can enjoy those good memories of it. And then I can really step into the future, the present, really the present today, but then I can step into the future that God has for me. I don't have to be locked down in the past because we can't live in the past, right? We can't change what happened to us. We can't undo it, but I can choose to not remember it in detail. And so that's the strategy that we're going to use today at the station. We're going to remember, but we are going to choose not to remember in detail. And what are we doing? We are unpacking the luggage. We are unpacking our luggage so that we can, hey, live through that process, but I don't have to remember it. And I can step into my present and be excited about my future. All right. Thank you for stopping off at the station today. Be blessed. Have an awesome day. You can and will make it in this process called life.